Welcome back to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS. It's time for Owin's Field Report, sponsored by Les Schwab Tire Centers.
Welcome back, everyone. Now, this week, a little interesting, and I honestly found myself not burnt out, but just not motivated. Honestly, it was just like, okay, I'd rather go golfing. Let's let the river hang out for a little bit. Let's just see if reports start to change. And we've said it for, well, nearly 16 years now. You can't wait for reports. You have to make your own. And it's hard sometimes to take my own advice. Well, I actually did yesterday. It was a busy day. I was able to get out on the water late, and I was lucky enough to get bit. Now, this is just another one of these little tiny adults, right? I mean, it was right there at 24 inches, and it cut as red as you could imagine. I was super excited about that, but I sure like to see a big one. It's just one of those things. You just got to keep trolling. You got to keep plunking. You just got to stick with it. And at some point in time, right, you're going to get lucky. At the very least, I like to call it lucky because I'd rather be that than good any day. But I did get bit, all right? 360 coon shrimp spinner setup, and that's kind of what my switch was here this, well, a week and a half ago, I guess, when I ran out of eggs and we got to 54 degrees, started trolling, and I'm going to show you in a second what my rigging has been. And it's nothing that I came up with on my own, but we'll get there. That's the fish from yesterday. Just the typical 2-aught and a size 1 treble hook with a 3.5 Yakima blade behind it. I don't recall exactly which one or what the name it is, but you'll see it here in a second. Go ahead and go to the next one there, Ryan. Oh, sorry. I had to get this for Kershaw. That knife is now my favorite blade of all. I've never had a fillet knife that was so flexible, that does not bend, right? You've all had fillet knives where if you bend them too much, they'll kind of keep that bend. And some people actually like that, believe it or not. But I don't. Super, super nice knives, inexpensive, and they'll flay off. I mean, just perfect. I'm showing off my filleting skills. There's a spinner that I actually got bit on. It's a green tip, pink tip with pink beads. We're going to show you the rigging here next, I believe. This has been, and I've been experimenting, right? If you take a look at that photo, you can see how I've got that, that's a 2-aught right there, Brad's hook. You can see how it's going from the side, going out, and then straight out the other side. And then I've also been playing with what I guess would be more standard or more usual, where you would bring the hook in from behind here so that it just pops out, you know, I don't even know what you'd say it, the opposite direction this is. All the bites that I've got, except a couple, at least a noticeable amount, have been when I've been rigging it like this. Now, I don't know if that's pure coincidence or not. I have no clue. But at the very least, that's how I've been doing it. Just enough of a gap there where I can get that treble hook either somewhere in the front of that coon shrimp, and they do not usually miss it. Last week we talked about it where I had lost a couple. It happens. But overall, it's been a pretty good rigging, and that's anywhere from 28 to 34 behind the 360. I haven't been playing around with a lot of other baits yet the last couple of weeks, but the guys that outfished me all week, mainly because I wasn't out there, were fishing spinning fish, loaded with mulch. And if you don't know what mulch is, I'm not going to say it because it's gone that fast. Go to Fisherman's, just ask them for the mulch. It's millennial, and it's been very, very successful. All right, let's take a look at fish counts. And this is where things are starting to get interesting. I'm going to grind on Bill here in a little bit, but you can take a look. That's the Willamette up on top. They haven't updated. Only 2,500 are actually over. Taking a look at Bonneville, though, the numbers have been ramping up nicely. Then yesterday, they almost doubled, close to 6,000. So 32.8 total over Bonneville. Now, we always go back to the 10-year average. How are they going to make their decisions? Because we don't know how they make it. They don't even know how they... There is absolutely no clue how they make their decisions on what they're going to do. From left field as you could possibly... Look what they're trying to do to the commission right now. Bill just kind of blew my mind earlier this morning. We're not going to get into it. But how do they make their decisions? It's nuts. But this is what they use. This is what they use. It's called the 10-year average. And when you take a look at that here in a second, there it is. Red line is this year, blue line is last year, black line is the 10-year average. So if you're looking at this and you're rational or have common sense, can you use that term anymore? Is common sense? Anyway, if you look at this, it makes you think that we're ahead of schedule from last year and possibly, are we getting back out early? He won't answer. I'm going to grind on him later on, but this is darn good stuff to see. We got back out in May last year. I'm just hoping that I can see a bell ringer, and that typically means that we do. So let's just see if we get lucky. But this is all good stuff. Let's just see how things go. River levels, though, are going to kind of, for those that maybe planned on chasing some fish around on the Willamette this upcoming week, it could be a bit interesting. We do have a little bit of a blowout. It's not huge, but it's definitely enough to pop the river for at least 3 or 4 days, right? All the way through Wednesday as things start to turn over. But when we get to Katie in just a couple of minutes, you're going to see we got some warm weather that's forecasted. So all of this stuff could just continue to go. We'll just have to see how it plays out. But here's your turbidity. It's already going, just like with the water level. It's starting to go up. You're going to start seeing that turbidity get there. And I would expect by Monday morning, you're probably going to be in the 12s, 13s, where it's certainly going to be a muddy river. Columbia, Vancouver, same thing. Not a huge bounce, but the river is so low as it is. It's great to see that. Hopefully that just means that the fish will move up even more and start flying over the dam to get us out there. Maybe a little bit earlier if we get lucky. Turbidity on the Columbia, nothing to be concerned with. And for that matter, you're not going to be out there chasing anything around anyway. Don't forget, though, if you want to have something cool, you might have a chance to win something from Procure. You got to send Jason Hambley an email. And when you do so, you'll be entered in to win a prize pack that they ship out each week. We appreciate their efforts for that. So make sure you bug Jason as well. Maybe try to get some reports from him. Good luck. And if you do, call me. I'd love to hear it. All right, let's check in with Katie Suniga and find out what we can expect. I love this forecast, Katie. I'm hoping that it's not changed since this morning.
Nothing's changed right now, but I can't promise you that it's not going to change by next Friday, because we talk about this together here on Outdoor GPS, that anything that's past a couple days, we expect it to change as we move through and the environment does what it wants to do. Snow up on the Cascades, that's one of the big things to let you know about. We're going to transition from rain this morning to snow as we go through the day today. We're going to see our snow levels to about 3,000 feet by the end of today. And then tomorrow you'll notice that there may be a little more as we go into the morning, and then we stay in that sort of 3,000 to 4,000 range for a bit. But the amount of mountain snow that we're expecting has caused us to call a first alert weather day for the Cascades tomorrow morning. Just by the end of today, a couple of inches. You can see 5 at Santa Ana Pass, 2 and 4, but fast forward to the through tomorrow till close to the end, and you'll see 1 foot to 1.5 feet of new snow by the time we get to the end of the day, which I think is fabulous. And then rain for us all the way through today, tomorrow until about 2 o'clock. A small break before another round comes in on Monday morning, and then that stays with us, turns into scattered showers through Tuesday, when we should begin to dry up. Here's what we're looking at for the chance for rain. You can see it's the wettest for today and tomorrow, and then lightening up Monday into Tuesday, maybe another 1.5 inches. And that's where we were talking about. This is that low pressure center that's giving us the rain and snow right now. And then once we get into Wednesday, we see this ridge building, and this is what we need to see in order to get that potential first 80-degree temperature that you see right there. There it is. So we go from 53 today to 81 on Friday. How do you like them apples, Owin?
Break the flip-flops back out. I mean, I'm a pretty simple guy. I'm pretty simple, right? And I'm looking forward to the warm weather and the sun. Hopefully that actually materializes. Katie, as always, we thank you for your time. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And the good news, too, by the way. Sun, water, spring Chinook. Are you kidding me? Let's just hope that the conditions hold out and good things happen here within the next week. All right, I bought us some time, Ryan. We're going to cut to a break. When we come back, I'm going to have Jared Higginbotham from Yakima Bait here in the studio, along with Bill Monroe Jr. from Bill Monroe Outdoors. We're going to talk about a number of different things. Trout fishing, spring Chinook. Going to grind on Bill a little bit. He's over there on his phone, or I thought he was. He's not. Trying to get some info for us all as well. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes.
Outdoor GPS is brought to you by P-Line, because we fish, by Hawken Fishing, perfection in fishing gear, and by Haxton's Canvas and Upholstery, the trusted name of the Pacific Northwest.